Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I want to educate you about the Baker Act and specifically what control me or my team as lawyers can assert over the facility, which is basically an agent of the state's mental health system. Now, they may be a private entity, they may be for profit, but they are licensed by the state of Florida to act as an agent of the state's mental health system, which is why they can basically lock you up, forcibly medicate you, restrain your liberty, cut you off from your family, basically put you in a position where nobody even knows where you are. So this is the state, and it's the state acting even through a private, entity. And so sometimes families will call us and say, well, my loved one's at a hospital, but they are going to transfer them to a Baker Act facility. Can you stop this? Can you stop the transfer? And the simple answer is no. Once somebody is Baker Acted, and just so we're clear, I've had it happen to my family member, and I was there when it happened, so I know what this feels like. Once somebody is Baker Acted, they become a ward of the state of Florida, albeit on a temporary basis. That means their right, their ability to make medical and mental health decisions for themselves are terminated. They're over. Only the state is going to be making those decisions from here on out. Their family members, even somebody who's been designated as a healthcare proxy, those rights are terminated too. So if you have this piece of paper that's been drawn up by a lawyer that says you can make this, these certain, medical decisions for your loved one if they become, incapacitated, unable to make decisions for themselves. When it comes to the Baker Act, that document is not worth the paper it's written on. And I'm not poo-pooing the lawyer who wrote it. I'm not poo-pooing the actual document. I'm just telling you the state's authority, the state's ability to basically take your loved one away and terminate everyone's rights is paramount. It rules everything. And unless and until you're willing to fight and go back and, go into court and fight to get those rights back, it is probably going to continue. Now, does that mean that, that everybody has to go to court? No. Sometimes people do get released. It's just a matter of how long you're willing to tolerate this. How long are you willing to allow your loved one to suffer in one of these draconian, broken, really just horrible mental health facilities? And part of the problem, part of the reason I always urge families, respond quickly, is because horrible things happen to people. We've had a number of women that were sexually assaulted in these facilities. I've had people that were beaten up. Just horrible things. And so it's not just, well, I'm just going to wait. It's because while you're waiting to take action, something terrible can happen. And as a general rule, even if the facility does it wrong, the person doesn't meet criteria, they held them too long, they coerced them to sign a voluntary admission agreement. Because this is an agent of the state, you cannot sue them for this. So you're not getting any money out of this. And sometimes I get a family that says, well, I'm just going to wait. The longer I wait, the more money I'm going to get. No, you're not getting a penny out of this. Unless, God forbid, something terrible happens. There's a sexual assault, someone's beaten up. That's a different story because the facility, albeit draconian and broken, does have a duty to keep you safe. And if they don't do that, well, that's a different story. Maybe there's a lawsuit. But if you are thinking that this is a get-rich-quick scheme, I am telling you, as a general rule, you're getting a big fat zero. The only thing you're really going to get is a bunch of stress. And I know what that feels like. And so I cannot control the facility. What I can control is the ability to fight to get somebody out as quickly as possible. And that's what we do. So if you're interested in fighting, if you want to know about your rights, what you can or cannot do, then call us. You can speak to one of my intake people for free, and they can give you a bunch of information. There is, I think at this point, 600 or 700 videos on YouTube and Vimeo and LinkedIn and Facebook. A lot of it is about the Baker Act. There's a ton of information. I even have an ebook. You can have that too. And so I want to just let you know, I don't have any control over the state. Only the state has control over these facilities, and these are their agents. So that's why I am a big believer that you shouldn't wait, not 1 second, to try and get a loved one out. Even if you think they need to be there, because see, you don't get to control not only when they get released, but you don't get to control the treatments there. So you might be saying, well, I'm glad they're there. They're going to get treatment. No, they're not going to get treatment, right? They're going to probably, come out a whole lot worse than when they went in. So anyway, I hope that answers that question. I do not have any control over the state. I wish I did. If you have any questions or comments, please post them. I read all of the comments you post. I'll respond to questions normally within a day. Please give me a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe to the channel, I would be most grateful. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.